definitely want to talk about cargo van business and everything that is going on. I'm gonna go live. I don't know. I've never went live on YouTube, so I don't know who can see me. I don't know if people are here. I don't know. So with that being said, I'm gonna just keep talking and then we'll figure out everything else later. But just to start talking about the cargo van business, number one is if you know who I am, or if you don't know who I am Key Chan, whatever you want to call me. But I currently own a cargo van. I have a courier service, K&J Anderson Enterprises. I am out of Atlanta, Georgia. You may have seen some of my videos on YouTube, or you may follow me on TikTok. You may follow me on Instagram. But however, I decided in 2021, I think I've been doing this since 2021. I decided that I wanted to change in what I was doing. So I was a bartender. I've been an entrepreneur for a long time, but I was a bartender. And I had recently started 2 other businesses with my sister. Coat Chicks ATL, which we are a coat and bag check service. We are Atlanta's #1 black-owned coat and bag service and event concierge. And Cool Cups ATL, where we are a mobile Italian ice bar. Or if you are from up north, you will call it water ice. But anyway, and so let me go back. So I got into the transportation industry because a lot of my homies from back home, which I'm from Nashville, I've been living in Atlanta the last 9 years. But a lot of my homies from back home, they had started trucking businesses, 18-wheelers, semis and things of that nature. And they're like, you need to get into transportation. You need to get into transportation. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't want an 18-wheeler. I don't want to be responsible for an 18-wheeler. I don't want to drive an 18-wheeler. But I am going to listen, you know. So I started studying for my CDL. I had like a little app on my phone where I was studying for my CDL. And honestly, it scared the mess out of me. I'm like, oh Lord, I don't want to be responsible for this big truck. He's talking about air brakes. He's talking about all of this stuff. I don't understand. I'm confused. I don't want to do that. So I stopped studying for it. Well, in the midst of this, I end up seeing my homegirl from North Carolina driving around, going to different states in a van. And I'm like, okay, what is it? What do you do? Like, what is this about? She gave me a little information, but not enough information for me to make a decision to say. So I like to see things in threes. I feel like when I see things in threes, or people tell me things in threes or something of that nature, that it is for me. So I end up going to this nail shop that I I used to go to this nail shop to get my eyebrows arched and get my lashes put on. This is before mink lashes was big. And this older lady, this older lady was there, and we often see each other because they used to arch my eyebrows. So we would see each other a little, here and there, and she was always very nice, always talking to me, always, hey, what's up, y'all? I do see people in here. So hey, I'm just giving a background on my story, so that people can get to know me. But anyway, so the lady, I seen her, she was in a cargo van. So I was asking her, like, what do you do? What do you transport? Blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. So she gave me a little bit of information. And she was like, girl, I gotta go. I'm late. But take my number. So I was like, okay, cool. So I took her number and took her name or whatever. And, you just never know if you're going to have to talk to this person again or whatever. But, sometimes when people tell you, take my number, I give you the game, or I tell you, sometimes people don't stick to their word. So that was the second time. The third time, I had met this guy, and we used to talk or whatever, and he used to tell me I gotta go out of town. And I'm like, where did you gotta go out of town? What do you do? He was like, well, you can ride with me. So we end up riding like to another part of Georgia, and I don't even know where he was delivering, but I knew we was in a van, and it was freight. It was something that he was delivering to this place. And he used to do that, and I started asking him questions about it. So that was my 3 times. So I was like, for my birthday, I had planned a trip. I was going to Vegas for my birthday, and I didn't tell nobody, because you know sometimes you can tell people about your dreams and they'll like talk you out of your dreams because of their fears. But I always, when it comes to, if I'm going to tell somebody, I'm going to tell my mom. Like, I'm going to tell my mom, because my mom, you know, she's going to keep it all the way silent with me. So I'm like, I told her, I was like, I think I'm going to start me a cargo van business or whatever. And she was like, how you going to do that? And I was just telling her, like, I met these people. Everybody keep telling me to get in transportation. She was like, well, just pray on it, and if it's meant, then God will make it happen. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I was like, I'm going to Vegas for my birthday. When I come back from Vegas, if it's for me to get a van, I'm going to get a van. So I went to Vegas. No, before I went to Vegas, I looked around for a van, and I was like, where can I get a van? So I got on Car Gurus, and I'm looking, and I see all of these vans. I see the prices, and I'm just like, okay, God, if it's meant, you're gonna make it happen. But in the midst of this, I was like, let me call the lady back. Remember the lady from the nail shop? Hey, y'all. So I was like, let me call her back. So I ended up calling her back. She ended up telling me where to go get I was like, okay, you know, I'm thinking about getting into this business. How do you get your loads, or how do you do it? She was like, well, I go through this man, or somebody dispatch me, and all of this. All of this stuff is foreign language to me, like literally foreign language. So I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. So I was like, let me get on YouTube and start researching. So I got on YouTube, and at the time, Jay Hustles was talking about cargo vans, but he also was talking about getting a contract before get a contract before you purchase a van. I could not understand why he was saying that for the life of me. So I'm like, okay, I ain't listening to that. Like, I don't understand that. So anyway, the lady told me where she got her van. So I told it was in Jackson, Georgia. So I told my sister, hey, ride down here with me. Let's see what's up with me getting a van or whatever. And so she was like, let's just go to Vegas first, and then we'll do it when we come back. So I'm like, okay, cool. So we went to Vegas, had an amazing time for my birthday. End up coming back, and I was just like, you know, sometimes when you go out of town or you go out of your element, you have time to think, you have time to create a plan and all of this stuff. So that's what I did. I wrote down my goals, I wrote down my plan, and I was just like, you know what, I'm doing this cargo van thing. How I'm gonna do it, I don't know. So when we came back, I end up applying for the van online, and I end up calling to talk to the people. So when I called, she told me to talk to this guy. That's who she went through, and when I called, he wasn't available, so they put me on the line with somebody else, a guy named Doc. So I end up telling Doc, hey, I'm gonna come down, you know, I'm filling out the application, but I'm gonna come down and see about getting a cargo van. And so he like, okay, come down. Of course they want you in their face so that they can sell you the van, right? Sell you the vehicle. So I end up going down, talking to him, and we end up, so I knew a little bit about purchasing a car. I have never went on the lot and actually purchased a car. I have always had you know, tote your notes, shit like that, or paid cash for a car or whatever. So when I go in or whatever, I knew that I wanted to let him know that I wanted him to use my business credit. I didn't want him to use my credit. So at the time, Allah or Ali or whatever had just came out. So I also knew, because of TikTok, I also knew that they was processing people's that you could go through Ali to get whatever at the time, because they was brand new. They really wasn't checking and all of that. But when they tried to run the information through my business wasn't established enough, so it didn't let me get it. But when they ran my credit, I was good. So they ran my credit and they told me my down payment or whatever. So I was like, okay, I got that. So I'm like, okay, boom, it's meant for me. So he's like, well, your van. So I got one more van on the lot. Okay, so let me go back a little bit. So he like, come down. I got one more van on the lot. Blah blah this, blah blah that. I knew also that I needed a high roof van. I had learned that from somewhere, but I knew I needed a high roof van because I wanted to be able to fit more freight in my van. I knew some stuff. So when they ran my stuff out, okay. Oh, he told me he had one more van. By the time I got down, it was two African guys who was there, and he was like, they beat you exactly by 30 minutes. I was like, what? So you don't have no more vans? He was like, no, the vans that we have are stuck at the port. So if you can remember when everything was stuck at the port, like everything was stuck at the port. So I'm like, okay, how the heck I'm finna get my van? So he's like, everything is stuck at the ports, but we will get it. But these guys, we're gonna see, because they gotta put $10,000 down. If they don't have the $10,000 to put down on their van, then that van will be yours. So I'm like, okay, cool. They came up with that $10,000. So I'm like, okay, is it not meant for me to get it or what? Well, me and my sister was planning another trip. We were going to Charlotte for a Raw Wave concert. So she was like, well, when we come back. No, so he went on and he processed my information. And just so happened that it was one more van at the port. But they wouldn't be able to go pick it up from the port until like, I think I went to them like a Thursday or Friday. They wouldn't be able to pick it up from the port until like that Monday or that Tuesday. So I'm like, okay, whatever, that's fine. I'm going out of town anyway. When I come back, boom, I get my van. So, that's what happened. I ended up going out of town, and when I came back, he called me. He was like, your van is here and all of this, and I was like, oh my God. When I got my van, it had 8 miles on it. Today it has 107,000 miles on it. And so I got my van, and I did not know what I was going to do with the van. I did not know how I was going to get a contract. I did not know anything. Like, I literally was just like, God, guide me, lead the way, because you gave me the opportunity to get this. I need you to lead the way. And that's exactly, okay, so my homeboys, remember I said my homeboys all had owned trucking companies, semi-trucks, 18-wheelers, things of that nature. So they telling me, okay, it's one lady that's from my town who set up everybody. She set up your MC, your DOT. She set up all of your stuff, your authority or whatever. So he's like, call her. Her name Miss, I cannot think of this lady's name, but it's in my phone. He like, call her. She gonna set you up or what? She gonna set up all of your information or whatever. So I'm like, cool. Call her. She give me her fee. She tell me my fee. How much it's gonna cost for her to set me up and all of this and all of that. So I'm like, okay, boom, I got that. So she set up my authority. She told me what to set up on my end, like as far as my EIN, my to get my LLC, just everything that I needed to set up. She told me all of that stuff. And so she ended up setting up all of my stuff. So she like, well, you gotta sit for 21 to 30 days. And I'm like, sit for 21 to 30 days. I was like, how am I going to, I can't like move the van. She was like, well, that's how long it take for them to process your paperwork. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I called, got my commercial insurance because I had listened to this lady off of at the time what was big, not Snapchat. What is the name? Y'all know where everybody was on this platform talking and giving information. I cannot think of the name of the platform because it done kind of died down. But whatever the name, so I found a lady to give me commercial insurance, to do my commercial insurance. So that ended up being another like $3,000 and something dollars. So I'm like, wait a minute, this shit is getting expensive. Like I ain't even made no money in this van. Like ain't nobody told me all of this stuff. They just said get the van. So, okay, it's gonna have to be a part 2 because I'm getting ready to have to get off of here for 1 second. So y'all gonna have to come back for my part 2. Okay.